Welcome to another edition of Talking Models. Today we're going to take a look at a commission piece that I just finished for a client in California that'll be on its way to its new home tomorrow. This is a little different for me doing the superhero line of kits. I'm normally a classic horror, modern horror, sci-fi, kits of that nature. But this project intrigued me, so I thought I'd give it a shot. This is one incredible piece. It's based on the artwork of Simon Bisley, and it's sculpted by matjscriv, which he did a great job on this kit. Just going to kind of spin it around a little bit for you so you can see the size of the Hulk versus the size of Wolverine, but there's a lot of punch in that little guy, isn't there? So we'll kind of spin it around so you can take a look at this beautiful kit. The paintwork was done based on Simon Bisley's drawing with the bright greens and the different colors. That's what my client wanted. So as you can see, we'll kind of go around it here a little bit. A very impressive size kit. The Hulk alone is just incredible in size. I want to talk a little bit what I did with this one. There'll be pictures on the video just before this segment so you can kind of take a look at it. My client didn't like the whited out eyes, so I actually added pupils to both the Hulk and Wolverine. If you look at the drawing or the amazing paint up that John Elred did about 10 years ago, bravo John. I actually reached out to John because I was kind of struggling with the green. My client wanted the bright green similar to what you see in the painting that Simon did. And John turned me on to this paint. It's actually called Festive Green. And it's a really great paint. And as you can see, it pops over my style of painting, building up a strong, deep black base coat. There's actually a different variety of greens in this piece. For the Hulk, what we basically did, I'm going to kind of lift him off here for a minute. So basically what we did with him is over the black base coat, I started building up greens. I started with a light green. Then I actually used some medium transparent green to start working in the crevices and the lines. And I quite wasn't sure about that color yet, so I sent some pictures to my client, and he requested that it be the brighter green. And that's when I reached out to John and found out the correct color to use. So I went out to, I think it wasn't Hobby Lobby, it was Joann Fabrics, and they had the Festive Green. So I had to thin that down again. It's in the big tubes. It's the old acrylic craft paint, if you will. So I thinned it down quite a bit. And I started building up the greens, as you can see. So basically, hitting all the highlighted areas, chest area, all those areas that pop on the Hulk is where I started with that. And just started building it up. Brought in my transparent black and started bringing it down a tad, started hitting deeper folds of the skin, and you can see the lines, everything. There's so much detail in this thing. The pec muscles, everything that makes the Hulk just who he is, just an enormous machine. The angrier he gets, the stronger he gets. So I kept going back and forth with that and brought in the transparent medium green, and again started hitting the crevices again over the trans black, just to try to give it some more depth. And just kept working that back and forth until you see what right is what happened here before you. It just turned out to be exactly what I had envisioned for the piece. Now for all the fur area, straight up, I first base coated it with black, hand brushed. Then I came in with trans black and just kind of went over the whole thing. As you can see along his face line, below his chin. Then I came back in with transparent Mars Red and just kind of outlined all the areas of the black, just to give it a little bit of a look. He was full of gamma rays and radioactive, which is why he was so green. But he had a lot of different colors that you can use with the Hulk. You think of the old Silver Age Hulk, the gray. And most of us know him as the green Hulk. I have a Soul, Kia Soul, which is green, and my wife always teases me about it. But on the front of that car is a picture of this guy, face, just the Hulk, and that's what I call it. that's just a sidebar, nothing to do with the kit, but now you know. So with that, I continued just building in the black, trying to get the folds and crevices just to give that depth to the green. It's a process. You go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. For the veining, I loaded up some pale blue into my airbrush, and I just followed the lines. He has a lot of veins in here, and the blue actually looks really good over the green. I believe you can see it, and hope the camera's picking that up, but there is also pictures that'll be before the video, and you can get a better look at it. Then I took that transparent medium green and went over the blue. That way, so you got a bluish green vein, which kind of makes sense. Again, with the gamma rays, I'm sure there's going to be green in there. But veining, if you look at your hands and your arms, there's that hint of blue. So I was trying to accomplish both of those things within the vein work on this kit. Now, for again, following the painting by Simon, I just went in and he has the blue gums and the whitish dirty teeth. So I basically just loaded up some pale blue, did all the gum areas, the lower gum areas with the blue, and let a little bit of it bleed around the lip area, again, following the painting. And for the teeth, basically I started with some white ivory, wasn't really happy with that. Hit it with some neutral gray, came back in with a light dry brushing of ivory white, and then used some transparent raw umber to dirty up the teeth along the bottom of the area. His eyes, I came in with that transparent Mars Red below the eye to give it a little bit of a distressed look. Came in with the pupils. Like I said, my client wanted pupils in here. Again, the drawing shows just a whited out eye. And I came in and decided to go with that same festive green. Drew in the eye color with black, festive green, then brought it back in the pupil. And then, of course, we took some red pastels to give him that little bit of look inside the eye, the reddish, like he's freaking out. Again, the stronger he got, the worse it got. Kind of the same with Wolverine. The madder he got, the stronger he got. But the size difference in these two is just amazing. So I came back in and then did a little bit more work with the black area, with the transparent black, just to kind of bring some variety of different colors into his face. The base around him, again, going similar to what the drawing had, and using John Elred's photo as a reference, which the client sent me to. Basically, over the black, I just come in with rich brown and just started airbrushing all that in. As you see, gives it a reddish brown look, or as the color says, a rich brown. Then I came back in with transparent dark brown and started hitting the shades of the kit. You know, all the lines around the windmill that's on the back, the claw marks that go alongside of it, and just kept going back and forth with that. Then I kind of hit the whole thing with trans black, bring it all down, and then came back in and hit certain highlights with the rich brown, just to give it the look that you see here. It really is a process. You go back and forth, you know, with when you're trying to get depth. You know, you gotta hit the highlights, hit the folds, make it look natural. It's a process, and that's every kit I do. I learn something. Every artist that I look at their paint-ups, I learn something. We're never too old to learn. Never be too aggressive that you can never learn. Be humble and learn from these other artists. There's a lot of talent in this hobby. I'm down here on that till, but I enjoy painting kits, and I just want to share those things with you. So with that said, that's basically everything with Mr. Hulk. So we'll set him over here. We'll let him keep an eye on things. Now you bring in Wolverine. As you can see, there's quite a difference between these two pieces. But again, if you look at the drawing, Google it. I'll have a drawing of Simon's on the beginning of the video so you can see what this sculpt was based on. Now for Wolverine, same treatment to the base. They go together, and again, what I've seen of the paint up from John and the artist rendition of this, that's the same thing they did. Now for him, I did some different things with the skin tones. I've talked before about the Master Series from Reaper of the shadows, the shadow, the shading shadow, and then the highlight shadow. So I used a little bit of everything on that. I came in with some of the folds, did some of the darker areas, lighter areas, building my flesh tones back up. But then I came in with Garage US Colors Pale Flesh, and I just hit all the highlighted areas all the way around him, just to kind of make a little bit of a difference. Then I came in with some transparent dark brown, and I started doing some shading very lightly, because if you do too much, it's just going to wash everything out you did. So I came in with that, hitting the folds, just kind of showing the difference in all the muscle tone that the sculpt presents you, and going back and forth with the process. Brought in some Mars Red lower on below his eyes to show that distress look, a little bit on the outer, played with a little bit on here on some of the folds of his skin, around his nose area, a little bit under here. That's why you can see that difference, that transition of dark to light, you know, building up the highlighted areas of the flesh tones. Flesh always drives me crazy, and that's probably why I don't do a lot of people flesh, because it's hard. It's hard to get it right. With monsters and the different colors, you can do the shading. It's not as difficult, at least for me. But with this one, I tried some new things, and I was pretty happy with the result, and so was my client, so hey, that's a plus. Took some of the trans black and hit all the hair areas on his chest, around his chin, a little bit of a mustache. He has some hairs on the shoulder area, if you will. Also went over his hair with the trans black over a base coat of brushed on black. And then came in with some blue and just had a little bit of highlights, just a little bit of dry brushing, just kind of spotting all the way around, you know, just to pick up a blue hint to give it that cartoon look that you see in comic books. And then I came in for his eyes. Again, the client had requested pupils, so I came in with a neutral gray and did his basic eye color with that. Came in with a very steady hand. These are small, with a real fine brush, and did the pupil in black. And I really liked the way it looked. I didn't want to give him any different eye color, so I left it black. And I really like the way that looks. Of course, the little one tooth that is showing was also done with neutral gray. And then I came in with the gloss coat and hit the eyes and the tooth and a little bit in the lip area. Just as you would see, the bottom of your lip is usually wet. So I tried to replicate that into this. And basically that's all that was done with Wolverine. Kind of doing a little spin around here. Try not to go too fast and make you dizzy. So there was a lot of, and you can see once this is a different flesh tone for me. I just kind of mixed it back and forth with my Reaper line of suntan flushes, which I love, and introduced this pale flesh in. And I kind of got the mix I think that I was looking for on this kit. And that was all that was done to this beautiful kit. I will put it here in front of me, move this back over and put the two back together. And you can just see the how these two look together. I mean, the battle's about to start. Who's going to win? You've got one on this hand, the Hulk, who gets angrier and stronger. At the same time, the madder he gets, the stronger he gets. Wolverine's loaded with attitude. The angrier he gets, the stronger he gets. The size advantage goes to the Hulk. The quickness could go to Wolverine. I guess the battle belongs to the comic book world on who would win this thing. You basically have two heroes going at it, and this sculpt just captured a beautiful scene based on the comic art. I'm not sure if this kit is available. You could probably do some research. I just did a quick Google on Simon Bisley, and it pulls this up. Do Simon Bisley Hulk, pulls this up, talks about the sculptor, gives you all that information, and you can see if the kit is still available. Like I said, this is a stretch for me. I normally don't do this type of model painting with superheroes, but I thought, what the heck, I'll give it a shot. The client is happy with all the pictures I sent. So we're going to pack him up tonight or first thing in the morning. He's going to be on his way to California and to his new home. So once again, I thank you for tuning into this episode of Talking Models with Troy Nayert as we look at the Hulk and Wolverine. And I encourage you to subscribe to this channel. Join the family. Come alongside me, support me, and just hang out when we talk models and look at some of the new kits I've built and painted, and we highlight different kits, and we're going to be reviewing kits, and lots of things are going to be going on. If you got anything you want to see reviewed or something, if you're a producer out there and you want me to review the kit, I'd be happy to do that for you. I'll be painting kits up. I got a whole room over here just full of kits to do, and I keep buying them. Shh, don't tell my wife. But it's a hobby, right? We all love doing this. So again, thank you for stopping in today. Stay tuned for the next installment of Talking Models. I'm going to try to update this channel at least once a week, and we can enjoy talking models. So have a great day today, and God bless.